Hi guys! Welcome back to Champ's Japanese Kitchen! I read in the comments, many of you guys want me to make yakitori! So today, we're gonna make 4 types of yakitori, which is grilled chicken skewers. So, let's get cooking! Today is very special episode because we're sponsored by tbsp.
That's right. I thought what better way to enjoy our yakitori than with traditional Japanese sake. Tipsy Sake is a subscription box that comes with 6 mini sake bottles from all across Japan. All different varieties with their own unique taste. I may actually be looking forward to this more than the yakitori. I just love sake.
So, I'm gonna show you the different types, but before we drink, we have to make something to eat. So, let's make yakitori!
Okay guys, before we begin, today I'm gonna be making 4 different types of yakitori. And yakitori in Japan is usually served either covered in a special yakitori sauce, tare, or just seasoned with salt. You can season any of yakitori today whichever way you like. But you may want to buy pre-made yakitori sauce if you can find it. If you want to make it yourself though, I will show you how to make that too. But it's a little bit complicated, so I will put it at the end of today's video if you want to check it out. Okay, so first up, we're going to make the simplest of yakitori, momo, which means thigh. I have 1 large chicken thigh here, which I'm gonna take the skin off. We can also make yakitori from the skin called kawa, but let's do that a different day. Now, after we take off the skin, you might notice these white sinewy parts on the chicken or excess fat. Let's trim those off and then we're going to cut these up into small bite-sized chunks. Maybe about 2 to 3 centimeter squares. Once those are cut up, we're going to put these onto some wooden skewers. Bamboo works fine too. And remember to leave enough room to hold the stick at the end. About 4 to 5 pieces per stick is a good number, I think. Once we are done with that, our momo is done. Now onto the next type. I have some Japanese green onion here, which I'm going to cut into chunks, maybe about 3 centimeter wide. And using the rest of our chicken thigh, I'm gonna alternate chicken, onion, chicken, onion. We call this negima in Japanese, which literally means between onion. Wow, that's prep done for 2 already. So far, so good. Next, we're going to make SASAMI SHISO MAKI, which is made using sasami or chicken tenders. But you can also use breast instead. If you do use chicken tenders, make sure to cut out the tough white sinew part as this will be quite chewy if you leave it in. Now, we've cut that out. We want to cut down the middle of our chicken and open it up like a book to make it flat. Next, I'm gonna be using aojiso or perilla leaves, which we will place on top of the chicken. I'm using about 2 here for 1 piece of chicken and make sure to remove the stalk. Finally, we're going to add some miso paste, maybe about a spoonful. Try to roll it up nice and tight. Now, the idea is we want to cut these up into 3 or 4 pieces so we can see that nice spiral shape of the folded chicken. Once we have our little medallions, we will skewer these on a wooden stick like before. Make sure to leave enough room at the end so we can hold it while we eat. And that's yakitori number 3 done. Okay, the final type of yakitori requires the most work. but I think this is one of the most popular types you can find in Japan. We're going to make tsukune, which are like little chicken meatballs. For this, you will need about 200 grams of chicken mince for 4 skewers. Let's add that to a bowl. Next up, I'm going to mince some Japanese negi or green onion. Add that in too. And then, we will add some diced shiso leaf. This is optional, but will give your tsukune more flavor. Let's add that in now. Now for seasoning, we will add 3 grams of salt and 1.5 tablespoons of corn or potato starch that will improve the texture and help keep things together. Now it's mixing time. You might want to use gloves for this because it could get sticky. Spreading oil on your hands will also help. We're going to give that a good mix until all our ingredients are combined and we start to see our mince get sticky. Like this. Tsukune usually is served in one of 2 shapes. The first one is the easiest. Grab about 50 grams of your mix and form it into a sausage shape. I'm gonna place these onto a heat-proof metal tray lined with oil, and I'll explain why in a little bit. The second way is to make tsukune in a small ball shape. To do this, grab a handful of your mix and squeeze. You'll be left with a nice round shape. And then, use a spoon to make a little ball. Now, the thing about tsukune is, if you stick it on a skewer like any other yakitori, they would probably fall apart because of their softness. So we want to actually steam them first. I know not everyone may have a steamer, so let me show you an easy way to do this. We have a frying pan here, and we're going to put a plate to the bottom. The idea here is, we're making our own little steaming device. We will add some water to just cover the outside of the plate, which will then steam as we heat it up. Let's turn this to medium-high heat, and when it starts to boil, put the tsukune on the plate and then put the lid back on. And we will let that steam for about 6 to 7 minutes. Once these are cooked through, we will take them out. Let them cool and then it's time to put them on skewers. And that's all 4 varieties of our yakitori prepared. Let's get cooking! Now, traditionally, yakitori is cooked over a charcoal grill. But I know that may be hard to do at home. So, an easy way to cook small amounts like this is with a frying pan. We're going to add some grapeseed oil and heat it up to medium-high. And let's cook our momo and negima first. We just want to cook these until we see the outside start to brown. Flip it over and let the other side cook too. This won't be cooked through into the middle, but at this point, we're actually going to add our yakitori sauce. This is a homemade sauce I made, but store-bought is fine. We're going to add about 2 tablespoons of our sauce. Make sure to cover the chicken and then put our lid back on. We will leave that to cook for about 3 to 4 minutes until cooked through. The sauce should thicken up and stick to the chicken. And that's it. Our first yakitori is done. For the tsukune, it's almost the same. But since these are already cooked through from steaming, we can just add our sauce and let simmer until that thickens up and sticks to our chicken. So that's how we can do it using a frying pan. And any leftover sauce we can pour over the top. But what if you want to grill it? I'm using a little camping grill here over a gas burner, and this will help us get a nice smoky flavor for our meat. Be careful doing this at home though. The more fat the yakitori has, the more smoke will be created when it cooks. So if you're doing this inside, it's better to use a leaner piece of meat, which is why I'm using the chicken tender. I'm also going to season the SASAMI-MISO Maki with salt instead of sauce. which you can do with any of our yakitori today. We will place these down and let them cook through. The time to cook will vary depending on what sort of grill you use or how hot it is. But we want to make sure every side of our yakitori gets cooked on the grill. Our chicken is quite thin, so it shouldn't take so long. Be careful not to burn your fingers when you do this. Once that's done, we will plate that up and...
Okay, so 4 types of yakitori is finished. So today we made negima, momo, and tsukune, and sasami. Smells sweet. Let's give it a try. いただきます。焼き鳥屋の味だ。Normally, yakitori is made on the grill, but today we used frying pan. It's much easier, but still good. Now let's try ネギマ。このネギマを食べるときは僕はネギと鶏を一緒に食べます。そうするとこのネギのシャキシャキ感と鶏肉のもちもち感が合わさってとっても美味しい。So next, I'm gonna try つくね。青じそとネギと、あとはこのつくねの肉が意外としっかり噛み応えがあってとっても美味しい。When I eat つくね, I feel like the only thing I want to drink Japanese sake.
Once again, I want to say a big thank you to Tipsy Sake for sponsoring this video. I know that sake is a little bit confusing, but with Tipsy, you also get this easy to understand beginner's guidebook that explains what each sake is, what food it goes well with, and the best way to drink it. For example, I really enjoyed this sake called suige, which you drink warm. We call this atsukan in Japanese, as well as this cloudy sake called nigori, which is more sweet and almost fruity. But my favorite was
ダサい純米大吟醸。I've always wanted to try this one. なんでIt's very clear and it's also a little bit sweet. I love it! 日本人の僕でも日本酒は種類があんまりにもたくさんあるので知ってるようで知らないことがいっぱいあります。だけどこのティプシーさんの面白いのはこうやってそれぞれどこでできたかとかどういう歴史があるとかいろんなことが書いてあるのでとっても勉強になりました。これを飲んでるとやっぱりこれが食べたくなります。ささみ。Sasami means chicken tender in English. This is really tender. そしてこの味噌としそ、大葉の香りがとっても美味しくてかなりリッチに仕上がりました。Okay, guys, thanks for watching. If there's anything else that you want me to make, please leave a comment down below. If you want to try Tipsy Sake, use code RYOSUKE for 10% off. And remember, after we eat the meal, We all set? Gotsou-sama deshita!
Hey guys, thanks for coming to watch how to make the yakitori sauce at home. It's a little bit complicated, but let's give it a try. First, I have 800 milliliter of water which I'm gonna add to a large saucepan or stock pot. Then, we wanna add some umami flavor, so let's add some dried kombu kelp and let that reach a boil. Once that starts to boil, we will take it out to avoid our sauce becoming bitter. Next, I'm gonna add 100 milliliter of Japanese cooking sake, 100 milliliter of soy sauce, and finally 100 milliliter of mirin. Once we've let that reach a boil again, now is the important part. You can use chicken stock cubes or powder for this, but for the best flavor, you will want to use either chicken bones or a chicken carcass like this. I've cleaned this out of any remaining blood or gross bits, by the way. I won't show you. Maybe this will be a good thing to try if you have a whole chicken for dinner and have leftover bones. Okay, so we're going to bring that back up to a rolling boil. Next, we want to prepare some aromatics. I have some garlic and ginger that we just want to roughly chop, as well as some leftover green onion stems. Our pot is boiling away and we're going to add those in. We want to let that simmer for a few minutes until we start to see that the liquid has evaporated by about 1/3. Make sure to remove any of the foam and scum that floats on the top of the pot if you notice it too. Finally, we want to add 2 tablespoons of honey to thicken this sauce up a little bit, and we will turn the heat back on until it bubbles. We're going to leave this simmering for about 40 to 50 minutes. There should be maybe 1/4 of the liquid left by the time it's ready. But be careful that it doesn't start to burn. Once our time is up, I'm gonna run our liquid through a sieve and then place the pot in an ice bath until it's completely cooled down. And that's the sauce done, guys. It should be nice and thick and full of flavor. Thanks for watching.